All right, welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus Show on Onebar. We're going to be talking about it once again. Things that will not die is the Greg Newsome to the Vikings potential trade target. CBS putting out a new article talking about just that. Before we do that, hit up Minigrown, minigrown.com, the best damn gummies out there made right here in Minnesota. Use that promo code 1LUP for 50% off your entire order, made right here in the great state of Minnesota. Great drinks, great gear. We love us some Mini-Grown. The big question is, do we love us some Greg Newsome enough to make a trade for him? So we're going to dive into this, why it makes sense and why it absolutely does not make sense. But to be fair, the Browns have been shopping this guy for quite a while. And it's not just the Vikings that are rumored like, hey, they should go get Greg Newsome. You're seeing the Packers put out articles, hey, we should go get Greg Newsome. You're seeing a lot of teams saying they should go get him. Why are they saying that? Because the Browns have made it very clear, please, somebody take this guy. It's not like they're playing hardball. Browns are in hell, cap space, everything. That team's a mess. So to be able to offload a young corner, still only 25 years old, and get some compensation for him, I'm sure they are all for. So Vikings-wise, in the article, they kind of just say the same fluff. You know, hey, they addressed the defensive line, they addressed the offensive line, but they didn't bring in that big name free agent corner. What they're not realizing is we did bring in Isaiah Rodgers. Might not be the big name, but he's got big potential, and we also re-signed Byron Murphy. Behind those two guys, yeah, it gets a little murky. Mekhi Blackman coming off an injury, Jeff Okudah, Tavier Thomas, Nudie McLaughlin. So I can see looking at the depth chart saying, all right, these guys make a ton of sense. So as of right now, the Vikings depth chart, the starters are Isaiah Rodgers, Byron Murphy, and according to the depth chart, it is Jeff Okudah. And behind Jeff Okudah, they have Mekhi Blackman. So clearly, at this point, that seems to be the battle of who is going to be that number 3 corner. Not great. I mean, if Mekhi, we got a lot of hopes for Mekhi Blackman. I got a lot of hopes for him. He's coming off of an injury. He's still young. He's still very unproven. So we got to see what we have there. But why it does make sense is obvious. Newsome comes in, was starting, the dude started in 2023 was his best season. Very good grades, played very, very well to the point where the Browns said, all right, let's pick up this guy's 5th-year option. 2024 rolls around. Not good. Benched. Emerson, the dude, I think it's Emerson, whatever. Newsome played in 13 games, only started 3. Coverage grades, everything not great. He had some injury issues, so he paid back the Browns by picking up that 5th-year option by laying a turd, which is probably why they're ready to move on from him. Right now, Newsome is listed as a starter on the Browns. To me, that means absolutely nothing. I don't think he's going to be a Brown. We will see. But it makes sense because you're bringing in a guy for competition. It makes sense because it's not going to cost a ton. You would assume it's going to be in that 4th, 5th round. A conditionally gets so many snaps and they bump it up. And the Vikings do have a lot of comp picks next year, so I don't think it comes down to the draft capital. I think it comes down to Greg Newsome, and here's why it doesn't make sense. He's in the last year of his contract. The Browns are not going to bring him back. He's set to make $13 million, so they're going to have to figure out something there. And I think the Vikings, again, why it doesn't make sense, I think they're pretty well set as far as I think they got a pretty good group here and are willing to wing it. If shit hits the fan and it's a disaster, maybe in the early weeks of the season, they're like, all right, let's call up the Browns. Let's get Greg Newsome. We know Kwesi was with the Browns when they drafted this guy. We know he's familiar with them. We know Kwesi isn't scared to trade some draft capital for some players. We've seen a ton of trades by the Vikings over the last couple of years. But it doesn't make sense to me for one reason and one reason alone. If they really want this guy, he's going to be a free agent next year. He's not going to command a bunch of money unless he plays his balls off this year, which I'm not thinking he will. So if the Vikings want him, wait till next year. You don't give up anything. You're going to get it cheaper. And moral of the story is you're not giving up anything. And see what you got. The other side of it is you get to see what you got in these guys. Nudie McLaughlin. We've seen some guys undrafted free agents step up. Mekhi Blackman, is he healthy? Maybe they don't even need him. So this will not die. The Greg Newsome trade talk will never die until he's traded somewhere else or until the Vikings actually sign him next year or make a move. I think Minnesota is going to let it ride and see what they got. They got those big, beefy boys up front. They got those edge rushers that can get off after it. That makes any secondary look good. So Greg Newsome, we will see. The saga continues. There was a big-ass trade earlier this morning with the Dolphins and Steelers. So maybe Greg Newsome is up next. Let me know what you're thinking. Are you sick of the Greg Newsome talk? One thing you're not sick of is mini grown. Get over there, use that promo code OneLUP. And 4th of July weekend, crack some beers, huh?